the wonderful thing about working with children, when you have someone who has that gift, that talent, if you can place them in the situation, the given circumstances, whatever you want to call it, they have the capacity to simply believe. And all you want them to do is come on in front of the camera and tell the truth. And he
same with adults, by the way.
Exactly. Well, it's all a great big game of let's pretend. Let's face it. But some are better equipped than others, and it's so because you're working as you well know without technique, and then the challenge, obviously, for you was then how to tailor what you were doing so you didn't end up looking like you were acting, which I think was a very specific challenge.
Clive, can you also talk about working with the child actor on those type of scenes?
Well, it was a huge attraction to wanting to do the film, is that the idea of going through a big journey with somebody that young. I've worked a little bit with children, but not that much, and I've always enjoyed it. But I must admit that as it got closer, I got nervous because, I'm an actor who spends a lot of time with the script. I like to prepare. And there's something so unpredictable about working with a child of that age. And it demands a different way of working, because if I go in there totally prepared with certain ideas about the way I want to do things, and he does something, very unpredictable, the film rests on believing that relationship, that all through all their ups and downs, you believe that they belong together, and that's a father and a son. And that means we've got to move in the same directions, really. We have to be in the same film. I can't be doing something and him doing something. So what it meant is that I got out to Australia early. I made sure that I had very specific time with him away from film people, away from his parents. I took him out to, safari parks. We went to fun fairs, and I wanted to get him to a place where he trusted me. So no matter what was going on set, he felt safe with me. And also, I was very keen to explore that when the times were difficult in the story, that I could be tough and not scare him. If I have to shout at him, the times where the stress is on and things are difficult, I didn't want to lose him. I didn't want him to feel unsafe around me. So I had to make sure that work was put in before we started.
I mean, actually, as a little case in point, you mentioned that scene, did Mummy die last night? What I remember just before we started shooting, and Clive was there with Laura Fraser, who's supposed to be dead, but of course she's not dead yet because we're not shooting. She's laughing and joking with her broad Scottish accent, and then suddenly Nick came into the room and he ran up and jumped onto the bed and cuddled her, and then she just gave him a great big cuddle, being the person she is. And I thought, that's what I have to get him to do. Every morning he probably runs in to get a cuddle from Mummy, and on this occasion she doesn't respond, which is how he gets the thing. Well, did Mummy die last night? So it was sometimes for me it was watching what Nick would do, and then incorporating that into the staging of it, or the particular drama of the moment.